in the race for the White House. Former President Donald Trump, he's holding an event in the battleground state of North Carolina today. Before heading to North Carolina, Trump made a stop at the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections to cast his ballot in the Florida primary. In fact, just moments ago, Trump took a moment to speak to reporters. Listen.
Well, thank you very much. Great honor to vote. They've done a fantastic job here, and we appreciate it. We think we're doing very well. We just had a poll that shows we're doing very well, and we have an interesting couple of months ahead of us. I'm going to North Carolina right now. We're going to speak on the economy. It's basically a speech on what's going on with our economy. It's gone very bad under this group of people, with inflation, with the economy itself, and so many other things. The other thing we're going to talk a little bit on is crime. If you look at the migrant crime in New York, it's been out of control, and it is everywhere, as I predicted a long time ago. And we'll be talking a little bit about crime and all of the people that have come into our country illegally, millions and millions. I think it's close to 20 million, maybe it's more than 20 million. And they shouldn't have been allowed to come here. It's causing tremendous problems, causing death. And just it's been a horror show. Nobody's seen anything like it, and it's only going to get worse. They should not have allowed this to happen to our country. With that being said, I'm leaving for right now North Carolina. Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. What has the FBI told you about the hack on your campaign?
Well, they're looking at it, and they're doing it very professionally, and it looks like it's Iran doing it, because Iran is no friend of mine, and, you know, a lot of bad signals get sent, but it looks like it's Iran doing it, and the reason is because I was strong on Iran, and I was protecting people in the Middle East that maybe they aren't so happy about that. So that's what it seems to be, Iran.
Is that what the FBI told you specifically, that it was Iran?
I don't want to say exactly, but it was Iran.
And you said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who have proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics. We have crowds that nobody's ever seen before, and we continue to have that. We have a level of enthusiasm that nobody's seen before. They want to make America great again. That's what's happening. We're going to make it great again. Right now, we have a failing nation. We're in a failing nation, and become in many ways a third world nation, and we're not going to let that happen. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so there you have it. Former President Trump, now candidate Trump, casting his ballot in the Florida primary. Joining us now live on the stream, CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi. She's live in Ashville, North Carolina, where Donald Trump will be very soon. We just heard him say it. So he started off in those comments that we just caught here at CBS News 24/7 saying this speech in North Carolina is going to be about the economy. But then he hit a whole knock list of other things. Olivia, do we expect him to stay on the economy or go off?
Well, Reed, that's the goal here today, is this economic message that he is intending to deliver. We heard earlier this morning from the campaign debuting a new nickname for Kamala Harris in the economy called Kamalanomics. It's a little bit of a mouthful there. But the whole point of that is to tie her back to Bidenomics. Now, that name became synonymous with high prices and rising inflation, even though it was meant to talk about growing the middle class. So Trump here today is expected to hone in on that economic message, but it's happening in a really interesting place. We're in Asheville, North Carolina. It's kind of this liberal bastion in the middle of a, deep red western North Carolina. So Trump is coming here later today to deliver that economic message, to talk about things like his no tax on tips policy, something that we saw Vice President Harris kind of copy earlier in the week and echo that she would accompany that along with a rising minimum wage. But then Trump's also going to talk about not taxing things like Social Security. That is huge. This is an area with a lot of seniors that are on a lot of fixed income. So this is something that he's really speaking to the people of North Carolina here, trying to deliver this economic message for them.
Yes, you are reporting from a beautiful place in our country. I want to talk to you about another headline that happened overnight. The United Auto Workers filed federal labor charges against Trump after his talk with Elon Musk on the platform X. Do we expect him to say anything about that today?
Well, Trump has been very critical of the United Auto Workers leader, Sean Fain, in the past. That's someone, Trump sought their endorsement. He's been trying to grow that union base. That's such a critical part of the voter bases in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. It really can't be understated how important the union vote is, specifically in this election. So the United Auto Workers overnight, though, did file a suit, and that was against Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and that was part of a complaint that they were trying to threaten or coerce those who had filed against labor complaints. So interesting there that they would file that, but they also just had a really big announcement about an hour ago, and it's about this digital in-field program that they're unveiling, and that is intended to help bolster Vice President Kamala Harris. We know part of the reason why she picked Governor Tim Walz was because of his history with the unions and the union vote there. So they're all kind of coalescing around Harris and Walz. It's been very interesting to see, and I'll be interested to hear if Trump says anything today about the union vote specifically, how he would do that for those types of groups. We are just about an hour away from Tennessee here in Ashville, and that's also a huge area where there's a lot of car manufacturing plants, so I could see him tying it in that way, but we'll keep our ears open and our eyes peeled. Reed?
All right, good thing to do in Asheville, North Carolina. Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much for being on the stream with us today.